بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، وأفضل الصلاة وأتم التسليم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما. اللهم لا سهل إلا ما جعلته سهلا، وأنت تجعل الحزن إذا شئت سهلا. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا، إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. أسأل الله تبارك وتعالى أن يجعل نياتنا خالصة لوجهه الكريم. I praise Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. I thank Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. I ask Allah to raise the status of Sayyiduna Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, his family, his companions, and all those who follow them in righteousness until the day of judgment. I had a thought this morning that came to my mind. Excuse me, I should switch this. I had a thought that came to my mind this morning. That we're in the month of Ramadan. And this is a blessed month. And I think that we're in the last portion of this month. And it is a narration from the Prophet ﷺ, which talks about the division of Ramadan into three parts. That the first of it is Rahmah, mercy. And the second part is Maghfirah, forgiveness. And the third part, Etkun min an-nar, it is emancipation or deliverance from the hellfire. May Allah allow us to have our portion of all of these and conclude Ramadan with being emancipated from the hellfire. And what I would like during Ramadan to remind us of, in addition to all the spiritual benefits and all of the, mercies of Ramadan, I would like mercy, forgiveness, and emancipation from racism, injustice, disdain, hard-hearted, racial discrimination, which is racism, and the list goes on. Because Ramadan unfortunately, is not serving to remove certain realities. And more than all of those things that we seek in Ramadan, and there are many, we should seek to become better Muslims. We should seek to become better Muslims. And I think this is something that we forget. We cover our reality with false sense of religiosity and spirituality and fake humbleness. All of these things, we cover our reality with them. And if we could get rid of those things, we would find that the rest of our religion, the rest of our religious practices would be far better. One time, we were having a lesson with my teacher, Sheikh Samir al-Nas, Hafidhahullah Ta'ala. And so we're all sitting, have our notebooks. I have my book. Usually, I'm sitting next to the Sheikh and helping with translation or helping with different things he may need, right? So I got the book out, I'm ready to go, and he just went somewhere else. He said, I want to put this on pause for a minute. He said, I'm sorry to say, the expressions he used, they stick to my mind. He said, I'm sorry to say we are not good with one another. He said, and until we get better with one another, all of this is fake. Just like that. He said, fake, 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 fake. All of it is fake. I said, wow. Like, that's some strong terminology there, right? He said, until we are better with one another, all of this is fake. Fake, 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 fake. Sometimes people say to me, they say, Imam, why are you always on this black stuff and you talk about racism and this and that? I said, because I live it constantly. I live it. I live it. I see it all the time. It's all around me. Last night, something happened in the Masjid. I just want to share it with you. And I'm getting older, so I control myself a lot better. I'm getting real good at controlling myself. When I was younger, I didn't control myself like I do now. I come from a different background. You know, If you disrespect leadership, I come from a background, you're going to get broke up. I don't know if y'all know what that means. Some of you may not know what it means. If you disrespect the leadership, you're going to get bust up. That's what I come from. Unfortunately, it's not like that anymore. In most places, you see a lot of disrespect that when I was coming up would have never been tolerated. Absolutely not. You can forget about it. But yesterday, it's 2 days in a row this happened. And I'm only mentioning it by way of an example of what we need to fix in our communities. So the day before yesterday, not last night, the night before, some guests came from way out of town to specifically talk to me about some important religious issues. And this is a lesson for all of us at the same time while I'm talking about it, because it disturbed me, right? And it's part of we're not good with one another. It's my scattered thoughts, so I can tell them. And they're beneficial. We should learn from them. So I lead the Isha Prayer. I'm the Imam, right? So I lead the Isha Prayer. I say, listen, I tell another person, lead the Taraweeh. These guys been here all day. They have to travel to go back home. So I'm going to take the time. I'll pray after everybody, but I'm going to take the time to address all these issues they got. Religious issues, really important issues. They were people who were misguided in their belief, and they were following these post-Fajr reflections and scattered thoughts. So they traveled all the way to Atlantic City to get clarity on belief issues. And they stayed all day because I wasn't there in the daytime. They came and they said, he won't be here till tonight. So they stayed all night. So they probably didn't get home till early in the morning before, late night. So I sat with those brothers. I said, young brothers, they traveled. I said, I'm going to sit with them and I'm going to talk to them about all these issues. So tell someone to lead the prayer. Someone I know in the masjid, lead the prayer. And as I'm talking to the brothers, I hear some other voice leading the prayer. I'm like, what the heck? Who the heck is that? I hear the voice, totally different. So I continue with the brothers. So when the Taraweeh ended, as everyone was walking out, I said, who was that leading prayer? So they know for me, that's a problem when I say that. Now, when I say who's leading the prayer, it didn't sound like I just said it to you. It had another tone to it. So they point to the person. I said, yo, who told you to lead prayer? Mind you, this person, I never saw them before in the masjid, ever. Never saw this person, ever. I don't know about other Masjid. At Masjid Muhammad, that's a major violation. So I looked at him. He spoke Arabic. I was like, Man anta, who are you? And who are you has a lot of meanings to it. Not just what's your name. Who the hell are you? Seriously. Then the people from his background, I won't go into the person, because everybody wasn't there and I don't want to attack a group of people. They start to defend him. Oh, he's good. Hey, he's not good. So I'm talking to him. Here's what's worse for me. You know what the question I asked him? Let me see how well y'all know me. What was the first question I asked him after I asked him, who are you? Figured I'd see how well you know me. What was my first question to him? See how well you know me. What was my first question? I want to see how well y'all been following me and how well you know me. Bingo. Fatima, you got it. Bingo. You got it. There you go. That was my first question. That was my first question. You got it. Why I'm asking that question? Because the prayer is contingent upon the person who lead it having al-aqidatu sahiha. You don't even know this guy. He just jump in and lead the prayer. And then when I asked him that, he starts stumbling. We're just Sunnah. We're Sunnah. What the heck does that mean? In Masjid Muhammad, you either Ashari or Maturidi. You don't lead if you other than that. Period. Now, in some places, it don't matter. In our masjid, it matters. No, we're not Ashari. We're not enough. Don't lead prayer here. Period. Because translation, you were happy. That's the translation. And the persons who led them gave it to them too. This ain't a game. Beyond the fact that you come to a place and you go and lead prayer without no permission. And you know better because you would never do that in your country. Ever. There is established imam. And if not the imam, somebody's appointed. That's how masjids run. You don't come, I'm so-and-so, and let me lead the prayer. Right? Strike number one. All right. I left it at that. He walked out. They said, you're scaring me. I said, don't be scared. Just fix that. The next day, last night, they come back more. They added some more people. I'm in my office before Isha, waiting for more people to come. I hear, no, the adhan is off. Okay, good. I hear the Iqama. I'm like, what the heck? I hear the Iqama. I walk in, the same person is up front trying to lead Isha. The stuff you can't make up. I just had a talk with you last night, the night before. I says to him, what are you doing? Now it's getting ready to get different. So I have securities with me too. It's getting ready to get different. It's Ramadan, right? But it's getting ready to turn different. Now I'm looking at the other people. Who letting this guy get up here and lead prayer? I says to him, man, if you don't get back in those ranks, you're going to regret doing it in a nice way. And he started, I said, yo, you better get back in those ranks. But now think about this. After he saw that it wasn't going to be pretty if he stayed up front. But here's my catch. Despite you ain't even knowledgeable to be making some kind of, you don't even got no knowledge, right? You don't have manners. You don't have knowledge, right? But yet, you just get this idea because he's a black guy, you can do whatever you want. That's obvious because I lived in Muslim countries. You don't do that. You know better than that. Right? None of this stuff is obvious. And I know the other Masjid in the area, they have the same thing. You don't come, they got signs. I'm not doing that, but they got signs. Don't no one lead the prayer, no one call the adhan, no one call the Iqama without the permission of the administration. They got that stuff on the wall. So I know you know better because you ain't been here. So if you're going to the masjids, you see that when you walk in the masjids, big old signs. So after prayer, I gave them a talk about this stuff. Right? Sorry, Sheikh, because I went in. Just they could in Arabic and English. I went in. So just in case you can say you didn't understand, here's in Arabic too. Sorry, Sheikh, I apologize. You know, it ain't about you apologizing. It's a mentality that we got to fix. It's a mentality. Has nothing to do about apologies. You can't apologize for that stuff. You got to fix it. You got to fix that inside. And what's deep about it, I want to show you something. What's deep about it? And I'm speaking in my city, and you could go around the country and you will notice this. I'm watching African American Islamic communities become extinct. I'm watching it. I've been around for decades in the inner cities, and I'm watching African American communities become extinct. And that relates to a lack of disrespect to your fellow Muslims. You will never come and know, I've been all around the world. You'll never come in any society, in any community, and replace their leadership and marginalize them. It will never happen, right? It doesn't happen. In every environment, you'll find the leadership, the community, reflecting the culture of that society or that community. That's just natural. And that will always be respected, has always been respected from the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Right? When we get this attitude that someone is less than us, that others don't matter, that we can take over. Now, I'm going to show you the mentality. Hold on one second. We'll take over when the mentality is like that. This is totally un-Islamic, right? And forget the outward action. We're talking about what's going on in the heart. That's worse. And I got to sum this up. My point in all of what I'm saying is two things. For everyone who don't know, many African Americans feel this type of, and naming that as an imam or different stuff, even as imams, we feel this type of stuff regularly. And it is troublesome, to say the least. It's troublesome, to say the least. But after all of this straightened out, and guess what he said to me at the end? And listen, I won't be back tomorrow or the next day or the, oh, you won't be back. Why? You come to be leader, but now you establish that you're not going to be the leader. You're not coming back. And I welcomed him back. Actually, I was really nice to him. Had it been 10 years ago, it would have been different. But I was younger then. But I'm old. I'm old. I don't do the same stuff, right? But after, some other people came to me, the sisters that she said, yeah, and I heard people talking about they could take over this masjid. She was talking about some other people from different ethnicity. And they asked my husband to help finance it. You can't make this stuff up. Do you mean someone is sitting in the masjid plotting how they can put their money together to take the masjid over for their ethnicity? Are you serious? She said, Imam, I'm just telling you because, and her husband was right there. And I know the people, I threw them out before. So I know she was not lying. Right? But I say this stuff not to make it hard for you. Not it's Ramadan, why are you talking about this? Because this is a Ramadan reality, which relates to a bigger problem within us, right? Yeah, it's a Ramadan reality. Welcome to Imam life, right? But it's a bigger problem, which Sheikh Samir mentioned. We're not good with one another. That's the bigger problem. And when I'm mentioning that, I'm mentioning these things so that we see it. It's right in front of your face. And you start to check it. We start to correct that stuff. Right? Because as Sheikh Samir said, if we don't get better with one another, this is all fake. That's deep. You heard what he said? If we don't get better with one another, this is all fake. Right? That's his point. When we're better with one another, we never have these type of discussions. When we're better with one another, we never have these discussions. But if we act like these are not realities we live in, they'll continue. But when we highlight them, we become aware of them, all of us can engage in changing the narrative, right? All of us can engage in changing the narrative, right? It's important. So the moral of this story, this scattered thought, let us be better with one another. Inwardly first, so it doesn't manifest in our actions on the outward. Inwardly, in the heart, let's learn to treat each other like we want to be treated. Really. And I say it straight up. If we're ever going to see a ummah that can change the world, we have to change all these hidden concepts of racism ethnic superiority, cultural superiority, language superiority. We have to remove all that, and we have to realize inna akramakum indallahi atqakum, that the most noble to Allah among you is the one who fears Allah the most. At-taqwa has to be our scale. Obedience to Allah and His Messenger has to be our scale. And really, I've never been a one who runs from reality. I'm not going to Sufi my way out of reality. No. We need to tackle these things head on. We need to tackle these things head on. And as we're in this last day, and I'll close with this, we want emancipation from the hellfire. We want to see Laylatul Qadr. We want all of these good things. One of the veils to all of that is a heart that is not pure. And when the heart is not pure, it manifests in our outward actions. When our hearts are not pure, it'll manifest in our outward actions. So may Allah give us pure hearts. May Allah allow us to identify our shortcomings and fix them. See, I'm working on myself too. I'm working a lot. I was proud of myself. I was happy. Right? Because if I didn't work on myself, they would have been going out the masjid not on their feet. But I'm working on myself. They walked out and nice on their feet. No physical abuse. No nothing. Alhamdulillah. So we all growing, right? We all growing. But let us all grow. May Allah help us. Barakallahu fikum. Wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Inshallah ta'ala, I'll see you in the post-Fajr reflections. Barakallahu fikum.